Natalia Silva. I understand. The women were always the ones to ruin it. Well, the juicer that is. Settle down. The juicer that is. This is.
You just got all of us in trouble, buddy. You really screwed us on that one.
This is my superpower. It's because I yap too much. Whatever. I'm not gonna. It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on Locked Door MMA. We're your hosts. I'm Brevin. This is my good buddy, JP. And in this episode, we will be breaking down and giving our prediction for every single fight for UFC 324, Gaethje versus Pimblett. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed the holiday season. It is so good to be back. We had a few weeks off. It was rejuvenating for us. Hopefully, it was rejuvenating for you. But at the end of the day, I missed the UFC. I missed the violence, the fights every single weekend, the excitement, and talking with you guys, right? So the community is now back. We are back. The UFC is back. It feels good. And we got a brand new year, and that means a fresh record to work with. So the record is wiped clean. We had our ups and downs. We had great cards, and we had some bad cards, candidly, last year. But this year, JP and I will aim to do even better, to bring you guys even better predictions than we did last year, and hopefully win you guys more money if you are betting, but gamble responsible. JP, good holiday season, very relaxing. How was the time with your family and the time away from the UFC?
It was great, man. It was great. I thought it was going to be, I would say the first 2 weeks kind of sucked. Every Saturday I was like, yeah, this is going to be rough. And then you kind of forgot about it a little bit. You're like, it'll be back eventually. But it was nice. Like you're saying, rejuvenating, a little break. Watching some playoff football. Those have been some crazy games. And then hearing different things about the UFC, stuff like that. Easy to watch on Paramount now. Very excited for that. The UFC section on there is pretty crazy. Pretty nice, if I do say so myself. And hopefully we got I am worried about Saturday because it's the first card, you know? Is there going to be some lag? Is there going to be is the app going to shut down or whatever? Because there's so many people trying to watch it, but that's a good thing. You know, everybody's trying to get eyes on it. But it was great. It was great, but we are so back. Super excited. I mean, I just can't wait, dude. I mean, playoff football too. That's been nuts. For sure, a lot of overtime games. Let us know in the comments who you taking. All right, who's going to the Super Bowl? But yeah, let's get into it, dude.
Yeah, 1,000%. Like you said, the move to Paramount Plus is a win for you guys at home. It's a win for us. It's a win for the fighters. I think getting rid of the pay-per-view system is going to be, better for everybody involved, which I'm excited about, and hopefully you guys are too. Plus, it's going to drive a lot more viewers to the sport, which is awesome, right? Like, tell your friends. Tell a buddy, hey, you now have access to watch these big time fights in the UFC. Check out the sport. It's really cool. Even if you're just a casual viewer, that's okay. But you know where to send them to. Send them to the best UFC predictors on the planet here on Locked Door MMA, and make sure they get subscribed just like you guys are at home. JP, tell the viewers here. I'll tell the viewers though. We have lofty goals for 2026. Okay, one of them is that we need 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. That would mean so much to us. We've been working our tail off every single week to bring you guys the best predictions. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you get subscribed, leave a comment. It really helps out with the algorithm. And if you want more UFC content, follow us over on TikTok, on Instagram. That's the best place that you can get even more content right now. And JP and I are committing to bringing you guys even more content for this year in 2026. So we're super excited about it, and hopefully you guys are too. But without further ado, JP, let's dive into UFC 324 right now, starting with the early prelims. Ty Miller is taking on Adam Fugitt at 170.
The best thing that you said in that was our record gets to reset. Okay. I'm tired of looking at these no contests and the draws.
And the draws. Yep.
Oh my God. Please, for the love of God, not a single draw or no contest in the first 2 months. Please. I cannot deal with it. But yeah, good card. Great card. Numbered event right off the bat. And it's fucking Fugitt, man. Fucking Fugitt. 37. 10-5. I feel like that's kind of giving it away. You guys kind of know how we feel. I feel like it's the same with everybody when they're up in age like that and their record is not great. It's like who was it? Tallulah. He was like 11-9 or 9-7, something like that. Not great. This Ty Miller kid just fought on the Contender Series recently, 6-0, pretty fresh, right? Pretty fresh. He just started his professional career in 2022. His amateur career he started in 2018, so he's pretty fresh. Big guy. All right, he's going to be a little bit bigger than Fugitt. I like his 1-2 a lot, or his 1-1-2. He throws it pretty well. His 2 isn't like the straightest thing in the world, but it gets home. I like his chin. It's constantly tucked. You see these 6'2", 6'3" guys. Sometimes their chin's way up in the air, you know. We'll get to that. I know everybody talks about Patty with his chin up in the air. But I like Miller. I like his power. Like I said, his 1-2, his 1-1-2, he throws it a lot. Not a big leg kicker. I wasn't too fond of how he addressed some of the leg kicks coming at him on the Contender Series. That the guy he was fighting was pretty dedicated in the first round, at least, to just hammering those leg kicks home. But I like it, and I like what he does in the clinch. He'll immediately go for the tie clinch, and then he'll start looking for elbows. He'll look for knees. I like how he's not just going to settle and maybe slowly pummel or something. I like how immediately it's straight to the tie clinch. How can I get control and damage? And Fugitt, I feel like it's a case of we've seen what we are going to see from him. You know, 37, like I said, 10-5. Not a big fan. This kid's a pretty big favorite, -440. Don't know how much you want to play that. 6-0 is pretty fresh, so you never know. Fugitt might go out there and, sling haymakers. But we're going to take time out.
Yeah, I think you said it best. Like with Fugitt, you already know what you're getting. He has a wrestling background, and maybe that's the question mark for this fight is can Ty Miller defend the takedowns, right? And if he can't, well, then it might be a long night for him. Being a little bit more lengthy, a lot of those guys struggle with takedown defense. But if he stuffs them, I do think he's got the striking advantage. Plus, he's got youth on his side. He's hungry. He's just coming off the Contender Series. You get your big shot, right? Start working your way up the division. This is your time to shine, and I do think Ty Miller can do that on Saturday, and that's why we're taking him.
100%. 6-0. See if he can go 7-0. All right, moving up. A decent scrap here. One of these guys super scrappy every time he fights. Cameron Smotherman coming in off a loss, going up against Ricky Turcios.
Yeah, with Ricky Turcios, guys, he's kind of been around the block a little bit. He's got a lot of good fights on his resume. He's fought some top level guys. And he puts up a good fight in all of those matches, which I really like from him. Versus Smotherman, he's fought some of these guys that he probably should have walked through, and he's had his ups and downs. Volume is an issue with him. He gets a little too complacent on the feet, doesn't really put anything out there for the judges to score, which ends up costing him rounds, which is why you see him lose these decisions. I think for Smotherman, he really needs to go out there and make a statement to get himself moving back in the right direction versus Ricky. You already know what you're going to get out of Ricky. He's going to go in there and fight his tail off. And sometimes things go well for him, and other nights they don't go well for him. But I do think in this one, he's going to have the scrappiness to him, and he's going to put stuff in front of the judges that affords him the ability to win a decision if this fight goes long. I don't necessarily think that Smotherman's got the power to knock Ricky out. So therefore, I'm taking Ricky Turcios. And I think he's just going to outpoint, outstrike, and put more out there for the judges to see. And this fight's going to go to a decision.
Yeah, man. There's a reason I say to you guys all the time, I don't want to sound like a bird, right? Because birds just repeat what they hear. But you hear me and Brevin talk about straight strikes or volume or sprawling, shit like that. But it matters, especially in these 3-rounders. Like Brevin's saying, if you're behind one round and then you go out the second round and you're still trying to be super technical and defensive and you're not giving anything out. These judges half the time have dog shit decision calls anyways. But you got to at least throw something out there. At least give him something to look at, right? It says he lands 4 significant strikes per minute, right? So we've seen worse statistically wise. But his accuracy is only 38%. Not great, right? It's like Caleb Williams in the playoffs, right? The accuracy, what was it, like 54% pass accuracy? It's 50-50. And then the dude makes two of the best throws I've ever seen in my life in the playoffs. But anyways, and like Brevin said, Turcios, this kid is scrappy as shit. Every time when he comes out to fight, he's talking trash. He's in your face. He's not shying away. He's not a guy that's not going to throw a lot of volume and try and be technically sound and scoot around the octagon. Just not going to do it. He's going to be in your face, calling you a bitch, trying to hit you in the mouth, right? But yeah, we just don't like it. And I'm not a fan of Smotherman's, even when he does go. I feel like he's got that syndrome of he looks for the one big shot. And I feel like at this level, you can't do that. You just can't. I think it's a well-maker syndrome, right? You got the power. And maybe Smotherman does. Maybe he's putting people out left and right in training or whatever. Not everybody's just going to walk into it. You get up to a certain level, these guys have seen that time and time again. And even if they do, some dudes are just going to eat it. Some guys are like robots. Drew Dober, big ass head. So some of them are going to eat it. You got to put more behind it. We've never been that impressed by Smotherman. We're taking a dog shot.
Yep, 1,000%. All right, next fight. That moves us up to the big boys here. We've got Josh Hokit, Incredible Hawk, taking on Denzel Freeman.
I mean, if you guys are taking Freeman, you got to know him personally, or I don't know. Maybe it's just Marine Corps sticks together, because I think just about everybody's taking Hokit. All right, whether you like the way he fights or you like how he talks on the mic. I think we need it in the heavyweight division. Super entertaining. But this kid is a freak athlete. I don't know why I say kid this much. I mean, the dude's 28, so he is the same age as us. Oh, we also didn't say that. Were we on the show last time when you were? Or was your birthday after that?
It was after the show.
Yeah, see, another year older, another year wiser. But yeah, Hokit, crazy athlete. Crazy athlete. What did he bounce around on, like 2 practice squads, something like that? The speed, number 1. I mean, we'll get to another heavyweight later on this card, but a lot of these heavyweight guys are not crazy fast. Josh is. Obviously, he's not all of 265, right? And that might worry you. He is a really good wrestler. I understand Denzel can also wrestle. And I know that technically all UFC fighters are technically professional athletes. Josh 100% is. Played in the NFL, played college football. This dude's an elite athlete, and now he's punching you in the face, and he can wrestle really well. I think there's literally no upside to Freeman in this fight unless he comes out and shocks us with the best takedown defense ever. I think this might be a squash match. That is difficult to say for me. But we're taking Hokit, man. I mean, the mic skills, the speed, all the above. I think this kid's got it.
Yeah, I do too. And JP, Hokit's our man. As much as we talk about both football and UFC on this UFC channel,
100%.
Hokit's our guy. Playing in the NFL, even though he was on the practice squads here and there, and now stepping into the UFC octagon and really showing us that level of athleticism, like JP was saying. It's very impressive. And for a guy to go out there, beat these guys, and then get on the mic and does what he does, that kind of shows you that he's very confident in his skill set. Because if you're a guy that's not thinking you're going to win too many fights in the UFC, you're not putting yourself out there like he did the last time he was on the mic after his victory. So I do think he gets the victory here. I think he continues to climb that heavyweight ranking. And he's one of these guys that we're going to start pulling for, against some of the tougher opponents in the heavyweight division. Denzel Freeman's just not one of them. And I do think Hokit gets the job done.
I know people really don't like Freeman based off of his noises that he was making in his last fight, just screaming, and oh man, it reminded me of a women's MMA fight. That's anyways,
yeah, women's tennis match.
Oh yeah, true. That's a little bit more accurate. That was the noises he was making. All right, moving up. Another good scrap here. Michael Johnson. off a 3-fight win streak, taking on Alexander Hernandez off a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a good fight. I think the both of them are kind of at the point now. It's like put up or shut up. You know, Alexander Hernandez, he was a very highly touted prospect when he first came into the organization. And same with Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson has had the pleasure of stepping in there against some of the top guys in the division. And in his last fight, JP, against Daniel Zellhuber, a much younger, very tall, very tricky opponent, he put on a great performance, ended up winning a unanimous decision. And then when you look at the Alexander Hernandez side, someone that has had his ups and downs, but in his last couple of fights, literally 4 in a row, he's put on really good performances. Sure, he had the split decision against Austin Hubbard, which candidly is not the best look. But coming back from that, knocking out Chase Hooper, knocking out Diego Ferreira, which was really surprising to me, that's a good look if you're Alexander Hernandez. But in this matchup in particular, I think Michael Johnson has the cleaner striking. I think he's going to be able to be very technical and pick his shots very wisely. Where Alexander Hernandez, I believe, is just kind of looking for that one shot KO. He's loading up a lot on his punches, and sure, lately it's been finding its home. But I don't think that Michael Johnson is that type of guy that gets clipped by one of these from Alexander and gets knocked out cold. And I do believe that's the only way that Alexander wins this fight. So we're taking Michael Johnson off the premise that he has the more well-rounded and technical striking.
100%. And call it what you will, guys. I know his age, and we talk about, I feel like we used to a lot more. And then the end of the year last year, I think, showed us a little bit. Some of these guys, even though they're 39, 38, still got it, can still put together a good performance. Michael Johnson, I know his reach is only like 1.5 inches longer, but he's got long arms, dude. And he turns over his punches. If you're trying to teach somebody how to box or how to throw a punch and how to turn him over, show him a Michael Johnson fight, because he doesn't look like he's throwing with a shit ton of power, but when he clips you on the chin, it is devastating. And he turns him over beautifully. Hernandez, to me, first of all, he always slows down. I think we've seen that in his career. He's had trouble because he's one of these tweener guys, right? He can't go down because he can't make the weight. But when he goes up, some of these guys are a little bit bigger, much bigger than he is, right? He is fast. He's got power. His striking is decent, but I've never been a big fan of him. I just don't know what it is. If you guys have followed the channel, you guys probably know I just can't get a fucking pick right against him, other than I think the Austin Hubbard pick. I don't even remember at this point, but Michael Johnson's seen just about everything you can in the fight game, I feel like. I mean, he's fought Khabib. He's seen a Dagestani who's going to glue himself to your nuts and then just talk trash to you the whole time. He's seen people who are going to stand and bang with you. He's seen people who kick. And Brevin brought up the Zellhuber fight. Another football analogy for you. It's like when these rookie QBs go out there and they're used to seeing or reading defenses a certain way in college. And these high-level DCs disguise everything, disguise coverages. And then when they snap the ball, they think it's one thing, it's the other. And now they're confused. They throw a pick, make a bad decision, whatever it is. I think he did that to Zellhuber. I think he was showing himself that he wasn't used to. Daniel was very hesitant, didn't throw much. So I think Johnson on the feet is a lot trickier than people think, especially when they get in there with him. But yeah, dog money. Hernandez fights are always close. If anything, you can bet the split decision if you don't want to put money on Michael Johnson. I don't think that's a bad bet either, but yeah, give us a Johnson on dog money.
Yeah. All right, moving up. Another good fight, good scrappy fight between these two. Alex Perez taking on Charles Johnson.
Man, dude. I mean, what a card to come back to. This is crazy. Interesting one. Very interesting one. I feel like what I've heard about Perez is extremely hit or miss. People either really like him or people think he's horrible. One thing for sure is you can't say this dude hasn't fought anybody. I mean, his resume is crazy. He's fighting Pantoja. He's fighting Figueiredo. He's fighting Taida, Almabayev. the one thing about the Amabayev fight, he was winning. And I remember it distinctly because I was so irritated at the way Asu was fighting. Just backing up, Asu has no striking. It's just a jab and an overhand. And he's a little guy, right? So Perez on the feet, he's not a slouch. He is pretty good. He can kick very fast. But I feel like his downfall and the way to beat Perez is grabbing his neck, is a submission, something like that. He's not a world-class grappler. I mean, Taita, say what you will. Dirty, not dirty. He snapped his knee. I mean, you win the fight. You're fighting life or death most of the time. But Charles Johnson, I think, is the very definition of a dog, right? When you talk about these scrappy people, we said Turcios is the other one. I know people's big gripe on him is he starts slow. He normally gives up the first round, this and that, blah, blah, blah. There's been multiple fights now, Brevin, like 3 or 4 that we've called to like an absolute T of Charles Johnson. I know 2 for sure. The Joshua Van fight and the, who's the kid he just fought? It was on that China card that we stayed up for. Why am I forgetting his name?
Well, he fought Kavanaugh. He fought Loner Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
I think on the China card, it was Ramazan Temirov, I believe.
What is it? I thought he knocked out, yeah, it was Kavanaugh on the China card, wasn't it?
Was it? It might have been August 23rd. That sounds right.
We were like about to fall asleep because we were staying up for that one, and then that's what woke us up.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, we will never do that again. That was a horrible experience. But yeah, he'll stay in there, right? He'll get hit. The one thing about Charles is he's always moving. Whether you're hitting him or not, he is always moving. And then once you get tired, he's going to keep coming forward. He sprawls extremely well. His scrambling ability is crazy. The thing I love most about him, and Dan Hooker said this the last time he was fighting with Armin, grappling makes both of us tired, right? Fighting in general will just make anybody tired. Some of these guys wear it so much better, and they can fight when they're tired. We see these heavyweights get so sloppy. You see some guys who can't even hold their arms up anymore, and they're walking backwards, bouncing off the fence. Some people just wear it so much better than others. I think Charles Johnson is one of the best fighters in the UFC when he is exhausted. He's still throwing punches. He's still coming forward. He's putting something out there, right? He's not just walking backwards. And he is just so crafty how he puts stuff together. Slumped Kavanaugh after taking a couple bombs from that kid. Same thing with Van. Like I said, Van was landing on him early. Johnson's still in there, now walking him down. And Perez, I mean, 25-10, even though he's younger, which is crazy. In his last 5, he's lost 4. I mean, constant injuries. The Moreno fight got canceled because he got another injury. I'm just not a fan. A bunch of red flags. I think we got to see Perez go out there and have like an extremely good performance for me to be confident on him again. And I just really like the way Charles Johnson fights. We're taking Johnson.
Yeah, 1,000%. Man, so it took us like 15 minutes to get to that conclusion. I think this one's pretty clear cut. Charles Johnson, he's fought the better competition. He's going to be bigger in this one. And I think Alex Perez really has shown us nothing. Sure, you fight good level of competition, but you're losing to all these guys. We've gone over that before. Charles Johnson's the man. He's got really good striking. Like JP said, when the going gets tough, you can count on Charles Johnson to be right in that fight. I think he gets the job done.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you fighting all these good dudes, but all your wins are against like nobodies or like guys who aren't even on the roster anymore. All right. Next one moving up. Nikita, is he washed? Krylov is taking on Modestas Bukauskas.
Yeah, I think this is really, JP, when we start getting into the meat and potatoes of this card. Like, and guys, we are still on the prelims. Like, don't get it twisted. We are still on the prelims, but this thing is now juice. We got Nikita Krylov, who's fought some of the top guys in the light heavyweight division, taking on Modestas Bukauskas, who's had a resurgence in his career as of late. Both these guys, very, very skilled. Bukauskas is going to look to keep this fight standing and really strike, where Krylov's a very good jiu-jitsu guy. He's going to look to grapple and find his takedowns, but we've seen Since the 2-year layoff, I believe it was, that Krylov had, he's come back and looked very, very chinny. I've been on his side. I've cheered for him. I think he has a great skill set. He seems like a really good guy, but past couple of outings, not so great. And some of these shots that have landed on him really haven't looked all that hard, and he's just crumbling. And that scares me as a viewer of Krylov. And if I was to want to back Krylov, that would have me very, very nervous. Bukauskas, he's shown a lot of good things, including good power in his hands, his kicks. He's very, very thick. Like, he's got big old legs and he throws them hard, right? And so, like, that's what I worry about from the Krylov side, is like, what happens if you get hit by a head kick? What happens if you catch one of these or eat one of these Bukauskas hooks, right on the chin? What do you look like? Because as of late, you just haven't looked good. So we're taking Modestas Bukauskas. This is a good matchup. I think it's going to really show us a lot about where each guy is currently at in their career. I just think Bukauskas is ahead of Krylov at this point in time.
Yeah, 100%. I did tell Brevin at one point when we were talking about this fight, I wasn't a big fan of Bukauskas when he fought Cicada or Sequeira, however you say that fucking name. I think you got to get that guy out of there. And I think Bukauskas ate a little too many shots. He was swinging super wide. But like Brevin said, I mean, you're taking 2 years off. I don't remember if Krylov got hurt or not in that 2-year span or whatever. But then we saw it in the Ryan Spann fight. I believe that was in 23. He got clipped then, and he was rolling around like a roly-poly. And then Ryan Spann does what he does best, sell. And then, yeah, Dominic Reyes slumping him. He was supposed to fight Mirzakhanov. I think that was a blessing in disguise that Mirzakhanov pulled out. I think he would have got slumped in that one, too. But, yeah, I mean, Brevin makes a great point. Bukauskas, great kicks, a lot of power in the hands. You just can't, in our eyes, back Krylov with watching how he's gotten put out lately, and might be washed. Give us Bukauskas.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right, moving up the card, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've been waiting on this one. If you are, I'll say this: if you are somebody that's watching this channel for the first time and you're gonna start watching UFC, maybe for the first time, or you've watched a few fights here and there, and you want to watch a fight this Saturday, watch this fight we're going to talk about right now, because it may not be a close fight. It may be very lopsided, but there will be action, and you will most likely see a knockout. We've got Adaba Gautier taking on Andre Pulyaev.
Yeah, if you want to possibly have your buddy, like Brevin was saying earlier, tell your friends watch UFC. If you want something to immediately spark their interest and be like, oh shit, I gotta watch this all the time, this is it. This is 1000% it. You're gonna think that we're in the apex in the small cage with the size of this dude, because Pulyaev is also pretty big as well. He's also 6'4". Doesn't have quite the reach, but he's still a big boy. And I was telling Brevin at first, hey, that might fare a little bit well. He might be able to survive a little bit more because he can match him with the size. And then I kept thinking, actually, he might be fucked, because when one of them steps back and Adaba comes forward, they're going to be 90% way across the cage already. So he's got nowhere to go, really. Yeah, this is probably going to be a squash match, dude. I personally don't think Pulaev's that bad. Ateba's just, I mean, this dude's fucking crazy. I feel like the only way to beat this man is to level change constantly in the first round. And even then, you're going to have to worry about him timing a knee. This dude is terrifying. Under half a round, under 1 round. Parlay under half a round, and the significant strikes under, like I did that one time. Do anything you can to get to plus money. We're taking Gautier, obviously. And you know what's crazy, Brevin? He's not even the biggest favorite on the card.
He's not, and we'll talk about that. But you know what? You know what, JP? One thing that I want to know is, who is Glenn Williams? Okay? Glenn Williams is the only man to step inside of an octagon against Adaba Gautier and beat him. That fight probably wasn't filmed. I guarantee it was in some foreign country. Went to split decision. And Adaba was on the wrong side of that split decision. I will say that was Glenn Williams's only professional fight, and he ended on a win against Adaba Gautier. That's awesome, dude. But the dude's now 41. He's probably retired from the sport. He went out on a victory. Good for him. And he's watching at home like, yeah, that's the guy I beat. Look at that guy. Everyone's scared of him. I beat him. Good for that guy. But yeah, this one is going to be one of those ones that you just can't take your eyes off of. It will be action from the get-go. I'm waiting for the day that they give Adaba a really good wrestler in this division, because that will be coming. They gave him another striker. They gave him another one that is going to sit in front of him and try to kickbox, and it's just not going to go well. Okay. And Dana White, guys, for as much as there's been questions on his interest in the UFC at this point, and maybe he's pulled in different directions, he's a smart man and he knows what he's doing. And this fight is a very, very tactical move. Okay. There's a reason that on the first fight on Paramount Plus, they're giving us this one. This guy's going to stand right in front of Adaba, and Adaba's going to knock his head off, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, UFC's awesome. So keep an eye out for that. And like JP said, if you want to bet it, it may be a little hard, but you can go KO first round. You can go fight to be under half a round, right? Those are all live plays. And obviously, it could go a little bit longer. There could be a filling out process. Something could happen where they clinch along the fence or something that causes it to get dragged out. But I do believe this one ends in a knockout, and I do believe Adaba Gautier takes his head off and is the victor. So yeah, we can't pick against him until there's a wrestler that maybe shows us that side, because I don't think that part of his game's developed yet. He's just a big muscular dude that throws absolute cannon bombs when he steps inside the octagon.
Like getting hit by a fucking Ford Focus or something, dude. It's crazy. And I'm kind of worried about the amount of time it's going to take for them to give him a wrestler, because he's got Frank Mir in his corner. So like, he's learning. I'm assuming he's learning in the background, but who knows, dude?
Yeah.
This guy's crazy.
1,000%. I will say, as high as we are on this kid, there will be a time that he probably gets caught, and there's probably a trap fight. So like, just keep that in mind. Because as fun as he is to watch, like I was kind of alluding to, he's not fully well-rounded, right? Or like, at least we haven't seen that side of his fight game yet, because he doesn't get out of the first round. So Pulyaev, there's a chance he could land a head kick, maybe, up kick, up the middle, something as Gautier's rushing forward. There's always that potential, guys. So like, don't fucking hammer the minus 1,000 line thinking everything's going to be perfect. Things can happen, but at the end of the day, enjoy this fight. Keep an eye out for that early knockout.
100%. All right, moving up, still on the prelims, and this is kind of crazy to me. The biggest favorite on the card, Umar Nurmagomedov, is going up against Deiveson Figueiredo.
Yeah, guys, keep in mind, Deiveson Figueiredo is a former champion, and he's really not that far removed from being champion. And as much, pouting and complaining that Sean O'Malley was doing throughout the last couple of weeks of like, oh, I'm not a main eventer, I'm not a co-main eventer, I'm washed. At least he's on the main card. You've got Deiveson Figueiredo, former champion, Umar Nurmagomedov, who, mind you, is still so good and will be fighting for the belt again very, very soon, as your featured prelim. I mean, if that just doesn't speak volumes to how good this card is, I don't know what will. Figueiredo, he's a good fighter. He's well-rounded. Everyone knows that. Umar, he's going to grapple. He's going to wrestle. He's going to do his things that he normally does. But the thing to know about Umar, he's not just a grappler. He's got good striking as well. Now, I believe in the past couple of fights, Umar's been dealing with injuries that take place inside of the fight. Like, that is tough to recover from, and he still holds his own. Like, the dude is a brawler. He will fight for a belt, and honestly, I predict that he probably will be champion sometime very soon. I don't know if it's this year, but if it was my money, I guarantee that, well, I don't guarantee, but I do believe that he's going to be right up there with the top three in that division for the remainder of the year and may hold the belt at some point in time. So yeah, give me Umar Nurmagomedov. I do think he wins this fight. It probably goes long, probably goes to decision, but I expect to see a very dominant performance from Umar. And if we do, guys, he probably will be in line to fight maybe the trilogy fight of Jan and Marab. I think that probably takes place first, but Umar's going to be right there.
100%, dude. 100%. I wonder if this is like a, hey, we're putting you on the prelims, go get a finish, stop being boring type thing. You know what I mean?
I disagree. I don't think it's that. I think both these guys have fought phenomenally, and I don't think any of his fights have been boring. He's fought a really good fight the past couple of times out. And same with Figueiredo. Like he's brawling, he's doing his thing. We don't have a Torres Finney situation, which we'll talk about next week.
Sweet
I just
Jesus.
think this is strictly, hey, we're gonna have a lot more eyes on this card, given the fact that we've moved over to Paramount Plus. Let's give them the best of both worlds at whatever it is, 4 p.m. Eastern time, so that people tune into the main card, right? Like you have to have something to keep people interested that may not understand the magnitude of the fights that are about to take place.
Right. And this is probably around the time where a lot more people are going to be watching, like the end of the prelims right before the main card starts. So that's a great point. Is Torres Finney really fighting next week?
Yes, he is.
Guys, I'm not showing up next week. I'm going to be sick. All right. I'm putting in PTO right now. Oh my God. That just ruined my fucking day. Yeah. I mean, the dude's minus 1450. Do with that what you will. You Dagestani lovers, if you want to hammer that. Alhamdulillah. Knock yourself out. Okay. It is what it is. Umar, I almost said Marab by decision. Umar by decision. 1000%. He's a tiny guy. I mean, I know all these people are in this weight class, but like, I don't think he has the success that Khabib did and that Islam does. He's not as strong as they are. Like, relative to size. Obviously, he's not like same strength as Islam because he's not that big. I get it. But like, he just doesn't have that, in my eyes, that dominance. He's still super skilled. Very skilled. But I don't feel like he's as strong when he's taking these guys down. But yeah, I mean, he's got hands. He'll land an overhand and rock your shit, you know? I don't necessarily see him putting out Figgy, but like you're saying, Figgy can hold his own. He's not a slouch anywhere by any means, but yeah, give us Umar by decision.
Yeah, and there's an 8-year difference between the two. I mean, Figgy's on his way out. He's 38. Umar's still only 30. I think he's got
True.
plenty of time to really make his runs, and to possibly be champion. I think he's very skilled, and like you said, maybe there is like a strength discrepancy with the style. But I mean, who are you comparing him to? Because Marab, all that dude does is work out. So of course, like he's really strong. Like some of these other guys are really tall and difficult to deal with, like the Mario Bautistas of the world. But Umar's doing his thing, and I'm still very high on Umar. The line's not great from a betting perspective, but that is what it is. Probably don't touch this fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to, I'd parlay him by decision and Gautier by KO and something else, and you might get a plus money.
Maybe.
You got to parlay a dog with those two.
Or a draw.
I mean, at the rate they were happening last year, I wouldn't blame you. I really wouldn't.
All right, next fight. Arnold Allen is taking on John Silva for the first fight on the main card.
Oh, baby. You guys already know. All right. My affinity for John Silva. All right. This dude, again, parrot time, took our perfect card. Okay. Ever since then, we flirt with 2 losses, 3 losses. We have never been closer than that fucking card. Everything was going our way. Everything was correct. We were super stoked. And then John Silva goes out there, slumps Charles Jourdain. This dude is a freak of nature. He's barking at you before the fight starts. And then when you punch him in the face, he gives you a thumbs up and reaches out to high five you. And then when he wins, he's crying. The whole range, the whole spectrum of emotions this man gives you. This dude's striking is unbelievable. His power is unbelievable. I don't want to hear shit about his grappling. Okay? We had to deal with all the morons, all the Bryce Mitchell lovers. He's going to grapple him. He's going to grapple him. Charles Jourdain took him down. Y'all saw what happened with that. All right? Bryce Mitchell may or may not have brain cells before that fight. He doesn't have any after. He got choked out. Okay? This dude is a mixed martial artist all around. Super good. The Diego Lopez fight, I understand. Got knocked out. First KO loss ever. He got hit with a spinning elbow when he's chasing a guy who he just wobbled, by the way, who he was teeing off on, by the way.
He was putting it on him.
Like, Diego took the first round. Jean was whipping his ass in that moment. And then, boom, a beautiful spinning elbow by another guy that we are very high on, who is also a dog. And, oh, yeah, fighting for another title.
Next week.
Sue him. I'm not going to. We're taking Jean Silva, obviously. We love Jean Silva. Don't get it twisted. We do not think Arnold Allen sucks. He is also very good. Super technical. Can strike very well. Okay. What are the odds right now? Minus 278. Maybe a little too high. Maybe a little too high. Wish we got a little bit better line on Jean. I'm hearing people, Jean's going to kill him. Arnold sucks. We don't think it's that big of a difference. Okay. It is going to be a close fight, but we think Jean Silva's the truth. I really do. I think he's going to fight for a title at some point. Give us the Lord.
Yeah. Give us the Lord. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Yeah. If you combine the two, we have the Lord Almighty. That's Arnold Allen's nickname.
Hey.
I think it's going to be a good fight. Right. I do. Arnold Allen is no slouch. He's got good hands, and a lot of people sleep on his striking, his boxing. You know, he can wrestle, he can grapple. So he does all these things well. I just think that the difference between Diego Lopez and Arnold Allen, I do think there is a pretty big gap there. And I do believe that if that fight would have continued without that spinning elbow strike landing, Jean Silva was probably going to find a knockout potentially on Diego Lopez. I mean, he was really teeing off there in that second round, even though he got dominated in the first round. But in this one, I do believe Arnold Allen's going to be a little bit more calculated and technical. Whereas we saw the way to beat Jean Silva is to be unpredictable and wild and throw those spinning elbows like Diego Lopez did, right? Because that's what Jean Silva does. So if you kind of fight fire with fire, there you might find success. But if you're trying to be very technical, there's no being technical against a guy that's bouncing off the cage and jumping on the cage and barking at you and throwing spinning stuff himself, right? Like the dude threw like 4 continuous spinning elbows back to back to back to back against Diego Lopez, and then fittingly enough got caught by one from Diego. I just think in this one, John's going to come out there. He's going to get his revenge, right? He's going to show the world why he's not to be slept on, and he is another title contender as well. So, yeah, we're taking Jean Silva, and I feel pretty good about that fight.
I would love, well, I don't want to put it that way. Love Volkanovski. GOAT. He's done his thing. I would love to see Diego Lopez hold the belt and have those two run it back for the belt.
Yeah. That would be a great matchup.
I mean, that fight was insane. I almost got kicked off the golf course because I'm watching it on my phone screaming. And they came over and said, "Hey, sir, you need to settle down." I said, "I don't think you understand what just happened." And then I hit a ball off into the woods, lost my 6th ball of the day. Whatever. All right. Moving up. The first, and we didn't even talk about it, the first of the two. Well, one of them's just a pullout. Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes not fighting. We didn't even mention it in the beginning. We forgot about it. It got rescheduled to probably never going to happen. If you ask me, we'll see what she does with the neck injury. That's rough to deal with. I don't know if Amanda wants to come back and fight anybody else. I wouldn't blame her if she doesn't, but that's not happening. Alexa Grasso did pull out. Don't know why. Whatever. Rose Namajunas will now fight. Before I thought the number 1 contender. Maybe this is for a number 1 contendership. Natalia Silva.
Yeah. And Natalia Silva taking this on fairly short notice, but Very, very skilled striker, JP. One of the best women's footwork specialists, I would say, in this division. I mean, her range management, her footwork to get in and out of the pocket, land her strikes, and then evade. Like, it's beautiful to watch. And a lot of people are going to sit there and maybe complain, she's on her bike too much, or, she's moving around the octagon too much. Well, that's what wins her fights. And yes, she does go to decision quite a bit because of that. I wish that she would find a little bit more finishes with her skill set. But, at the end of the day, she's getting the job done. She's fighting a good fight. Rose Namajunas, I mean, big win in her last time out. She's had her ups and downs, but to beat Miranda Maverick, who was surging in this division, was a big victory for her. And now you're fighting a Natalia Silva, who's probably got better striking than you. Can you find your takedowns, right? That will be the question. Rose is very well rounded, right? Former champion, in the division below this one, moves up, fighting some of the top girls. I think she's really got to be able to implement a game plan to cut off and stop Natalia Silva's movement and footwork. If it stays standing, JP, I'm very confident in Silva's striking. I think she's very fluid. She gets in and out, and I do think she outstrikes Rose Namajunas. Is probably going to go to decision, and Natalia's going to be your victor. And I do believe she gets that title shot after this fight. I don't necessarily think Rose is going to find the takedowns. Natalia's shown really good takedown defense against some top-level wrestlers in this division as well. So give me Natalia Silva on short notice. I think she's going to outpoint Rose, and this fight probably goes to decision, like I said earlier, and Silva gets her hand raised, taking Natalia Silva.
100%. I thought you said it perfectly. I mean, I do think if Rose gets her down, I think we're going to learn a lot about Silva. I mean, maybe not a finish, but Rose could do some damage. Her ground and pound, her grappling. I mean, I feel like people forget Rose has got wins over Zhang Weili. And I understand what Zhang Weili just looked like and everything. We got flack for saying that was going to happen, and then look what happened. But
I know.
Yeah, I mean, Rose is one of the greats of this division of women's fighting overall, right? Like Brevin said, extremely well-rounded. But yeah, call it what you will, call it running, call it on your bike, call it a bitch way to fight. We've heard it all. These people have elite footwork, and they've mastered the number one thing in fighting is to hit somebody and not get hit. And that's what she does. She's fast with her kicks, her punches. She's got great cardio, never slows down, because most of the time she's in and out, and she's just frustrating the shit out of her opponent. My biggest gripe with Rose is, as good as she is, I feel like sometimes she's very hot and cold in her head. You either get a super confident Rose or you get a Rose who's just second guessing everything, not confident in herself. I just don't know. And with a girl who Natalia Silva thrives on frustrating the shit out of you, and then kick, move, kick. You finally cut her off. How many times do we say it, Brevin? This is one of those people, if you can't cut people off, if you don't know how to do it, you're chasing a chicken all night. You're not choking a chicken. Don't get it confused. Whoa. All right? You're chasing a chicken. All right? And it's like wrangling a cat in your house. Trying to cut their nails and shit. So hard to grab. You feel like you corner them, boom, they're out. Give us Silva.
Yep. I think that describes it perfectly. That's how I see that fight going. All right. Moving up to another round of the big boys. You can't hate them, JP. It's fun to watch. They get tired, they get sloppy, but they throw heavy. We have Waldo Cortes-Acosta taking on Derek Lewis.
I mean, it's the funniest, and sometimes I feel like the worst, depending on who it is, when two heavyweights get absolutely exhausted after 30 seconds of throwing punches. It's obviously not that bad, but when they're both just slugging, bouncing off each other, you kind of want to just toss a double cheese in there, and whoever grabs it replenishes their energy and they're back at it, throw something into the mix. But I mean, what can you do? I'm not a big fan of Costa. You guys have or Acosta, whatever. You guys have known that. I feel like I hate saying this, aura farming. I hate that phrase. But he's always doing this back against the cage, waving him forward, sticking his tongue out, pretending like you're hurt. I can't stand that shit. Maybe if you just knock somebody the fuck out, you get more aura than you would doing all this other crap. Granted, he did in his last fight, right? Knocking out Gaethje, the king of the blabs. And that was on short notice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight, the Delesia fight, I understand the eye poke and all that shit, and he got rocked. So I understand everybody's like, Derek Lewis, king of the knockout. I know Derek Lewis just won, and our breakdown was not correct on that one. We picked Teixeira. I feel like the breakdown still applies. Derek Lewis is not fast. He's getting older. How many times are we going to... Obviously, it wasn't at the end of the fight, his last one, but how many times are we going to see him catch the home run shot at the end of the fight? Look for that one big shot, because he's good at it. Yeah, I agree. He's a fucking great knockout artist. But he's fighting a guy who's an athlete, who's a boxer, who's a pretty decently fast heavyweight. Give us Waldo. Where's Waldo? Not a fan, but he is decent. He's on a tear right now. He's from Phoenix. All right. Or he's fighting out of Phoenix. I like all these other Phoenix fighters. Don't like him for some reason. In Brevin's words, I got to stop being biased. We're taking Waldo.
Yeah, I think it's just a speed advantage, right? Derek Lewis is going to be 41 very soon. Only a few more weeks until this dude's birthday. Waldo, younger, hungrier, faster. Derek Lewis, at this point, I think he's just in there having fun. You know, that's what he's been doing, creating memes, winning, pulling his pants down for some strange reason, flashing the crowd, right? Like mooning the crowd. He's just a weird dude. You know, he likes to talk about what he's going to do to his wife after the fights. He's just creating memes at this point. I think he's having fun, enjoying the process. You're old, you have fun, you throw big punches, all that stuff. But Waldo Cortes-Acosta, I believe, has title dreams. I don't know if he gets there. I think he's okay. He's quick, he's powerful as well. But in this matchup in particular, I do think Waldo gets the jump on Derek. This probably you know, as shitty as it sounds, JP, I could see it. I could see it going long. I could see this thing going to decision. You know, and it's probably might be a little bit of a boring fight. And Derek's going to be, you know, saying, "Oh, come on, come on," and Waldo's going to be leaning up against the cage, sticking his tongue out. Maybe I could see it going that way. Hopefully not. Hopefully we get a knockout. But give us Waldo for this matchup.
I swear to God. I mean, Brevin's going to be here. I might have him film it, because I might crash out if that's the case. I cannot stand it when this dude does it. Brevin's not lying, though. You have not seen Derek Lewis's Instagram? Go look at it. It's nothing but just crazy videos, and all he says is, she's okay. He's okay. It's hilarious. All right. Moving up. The man who wasn't on the co-main or the main, and he was below that and this and that, looking for a resurgence. He's not smoking weed. He is smoking weed. He's faithful to his wife, and he's not. Who freaking knows all these damn storylines? Sean O'Malley is fighting somebody other than Merab Dvalishvili, going up against Song Yadong.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep this one pretty short and sweet. I've been waiting for the day that they've given Sean another striker, which I get. He was fighting for the belt, and the guy that held the belt was a wrestling heavy grappling machine in Merab. So this was a long time coming for us and for Sean. I think he's excited about it. I think we as the fans and the fans of Sean O'Malley in particular are super excited for it because Song Yadong is going to sit there and strike with you, which we saw a really good performance against Henry Cejudo. However, Henry Cejudo went out there and got outstruck by Peyton Talbot as well. Like, Henry's not a good striker. So even though it was a good performance from Song, I just don't think he's on the skill level of Sean. Sean's longer. He's going to be comfortable at range. This is going to be a beautiful fight to watch. If you're a fan of striking, watch this fight. That's what it's going to be. And I do believe Sean ends up the victor. I think he's just better. And I would love to see Sean O'Malley get a highlight reel KO on Song Yadong and like have that, that moment that brings Sean back to those glory days, like when he knocked out Aljamain Sterling, right? Like that was just such a high as a viewer. I was just like so hyped up and excited for Sean. And, if he does that, get him in there against Peter Yan. Let's see that rematch. A lot of people were calling for that. And now with the changing of the belt, that would be a great fight. That would be a great title fight, JP. I would be excited for that. Probably can't see Merab and Sean again. That's probably out of the question.
Yeah.
So now with Merab no longer being champ, let's get the rematch of Sean and Peter Yan. But either way, I'm excited for this one. I think it's great that Sean finally gets a striker.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well said. I know I make these jokes of all these storylines of him doing this, him doing that. But Sean is elite. He is truly elite at what he does. I know we like to talk about stats and all this. The dude lands damn near 6.5 strikes per minute. And if that's not enough for you, he lands at just under a 62% clip. So out of every 10 shots, 6 of them, almost 7 of them are hitting you. I mean, from range, he's a master at range management. He mixes it up perfectly. Great footwork. He can strike orthodox. He can strike southpaw. He'll kick you in the head. He's hard to cut off. And like Brevin said, him fighting Merab, he's fighting arguably the GOAT of that division. I understand the Piotr Yan fight, but like, we finally saw somebody who figured out Merab. Sue the guy. He was doing it forever. But Sean is one of those people that, again, Brevin's saying we finally got another striker. You can't sit at range with him. You're going to have to mix it up, try and take him down, try and get on the inside, hopefully knock him out. Because if you sit at range with him and play a point game with him, this dude is the best in the world at doing that. He's not a guy that's going to hit you hard with a lot of power and load up. He's a guy that's going to hit you extremely accurate, right on the button a lot of times. And it's just like that quote from Eddie Alvarez after that Conor fight. He said, I don't think he hit me hard. I just didn't see it. And then it clipped me perfectly, and I was sitting on my butt, and I was like, what the hell was that? I mean, the Cheeto Vera knee, how Cheeto ate that and didn't fall over. He mixes it up super well. In my eyes, unless Song just does nothing but grapple, I understand he's with Team Alpha Male, so maybe he can. I think that's his path to victory. I don't see him doing it. Give us Omalley on the scorecards.
Yeah, and the other thing that we didn't mention, JP, as of right now, this is only a 3-round fight. There's no belt on the line. This is a 3-rounder. When's the last time we saw Sean in a 3-round fight? Expect a very motivated, a high-volume approach from Sean Omalley, who looks to put a stamp on this fight to get himself back into title contention. I believe he can do it. He's the man, that can take advantage of a situation like this. And I think he does. 3-round fight. I'm excited for it. I think both guys are really good. I think it's going to be high action. It's not going to be boring. They're going to get after it. And I hope that Sean is the victor there.
100%. Like, I agree with you. I think when Sean's winning and like his stardom and stuff, I do think he's a big star. I think it's good for the UFC when he's winning and he's good on the mic and all this shit. So, yeah.
All right. That moves us into our main event of the evening. We've got Justin the Highlight Gaethje taking on Patty the Baddie Pimblett.
Wow. Interim lightweight belt. I know. And we didn't touch on it at the beginning of the show. Everything going on with Topuria. Him having his legal battles with his kids and all that. I believe he won like his first court case or whatever, so he has plans to defend the title. I think he said in like August, maybe May. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see what happens with that. That kind of sucks. I know everybody hates interim belts. Brevin, I haven't asked you your feelings on this, on the fact that Arman was not in this fight at all. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I get it. Arman really screwed over the UFC, and so now the UFC is screwing over Arman. And that's what we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
I think he's probably either next in line if he doesn't fight, or just one fight away from just being there again and having that fight scheduled. They're just going to make him work for it a little bit. Now we've seen Armin do a little wrestling on the side. He's doing some grappling matches as well, keeping himself ready. The dude doesn't need the money. He's fine. He's doing streams with Neon. Like, he's just doing his thing. Well, I think his time's coming. And the UFC, I feel like they've probably punished him enough. They've kept him out of title contention enough. We get the picture. Bring in Armin. He's skilled enough. He's so good. He's deserving of a title. So I think he'll be the next guy to challenge for that belt.
Yeah, I agree. And then, you got the crowd who are upset because Gaethje's crying because it's a title shot or nothing or blah, 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 which, I mean, call it crying, call it what you will. I agree with him. You step up on short notice, fight Max Holloway when you don't have to for the BMF. I understand he lost, but, like, that's an all-time great fight. Anytime you talk to anybody about UFC, whether they're a big fan or not, they know about that fight. And then he's beaten Fiziev. He's always in a big fight, right? So I get it. Very interesting one. Very interesting one. I think on either side, either guy, if you're picking him, I think there's a clear pathway for both. Gaethje, everybody's going to talk about hitting like a truck, and the fact that Paddy, I said earlier, we're going to get to somebody who has their chin up a lot. Everybody talks about Paddy, his chin up in the air, talks about being a scouser. Lad, we don't get knocked out, lad. All right? I mean, we'll see if he gets knocked out. If he's taking a sloppy shot like his dog. You never know. But his stance is weird. Paddy's stance is weird. It's very long. His striking's very unorthodox. One thing about him is his ground and pound, elite. His grappling, elite. Me and Brevin were talking before this. We don't know if it's necessarily Charles Oliveira-esque. Probably not to that point. But it is very good. You saw what he did to Michael Chandler. I know people have different opinions and stuff about Michael Chandler. For me, I don't see Paddy spending a lot of time in the clinch with Gaethje. And I think that's where Gaethje is most dangerous and at his best. That little shovel uppercut to Fiziev. This dude has mastered uppercuts in the clinch. He doesn't even move that much, and the amount of force that he... Oh my God, it's crazy. It is crazy. I think at range, Paddy might be able to land a couple leg kicks. We'll have to see. But I personally think if Gaethje gets anywhere near him, and yes, I understand he's a wrestler and all this and that, I don't think Gaethje on the ground is this high-level freak that everybody thinks he is. I think his scramble ability and his takedown defense is what makes him a good wrestler. But we haven't really seen what happens on the ground. We did with Charles. I think Paddy can replicate that. I think Paddy's on the way up. I think this kid's really good, man. And I'll let Brevin make his big point that he made to me that completely sold it for me, but we're taking Paddy Pimblett. Give us a scouser.
You don't get knocked out. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this fight, guys. Whoever side you're on, just be excited for this matchup. I mean, this is a fun one here. Both guys potential to do great things. It's going to be a battle, a hard-fought battle nonetheless. And JP, from a bias perspective, I would love to see the buildup between Ilya and Paddy, the way they trash talk, the way they go at each other.
1000%.
That's what I would love to see. And good for Justin Gaethje getting this opportunity, right? Like, he was on the ropes of not fighting unless he was getting the title shot. Well, now you got one. Either way, this is a wonderful fight. And yeah, JP was alluding to it, but I was telling him before we started filming, Paddy's one of these guys that just gets better and better and better every single time we see him step into the octagon. And not just by a little bit. Like, he is taking leaps and bounds of improvement every time he fights. And so I was telling him, like, we cannot hold the Gordon fight that a lot of people thought that Paddy lost against him for much longer, right? Like, he has just improved and improved. He's shown a level of dominance, like in the Michael Chandler fight. And I don't think the version of Paddy that fought some of these lower level guys and had a close fight against Jared Gordon is the same Paddy that we're going to see on Saturday. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting here telling you it's not. I can guarantee you it's not. This guy has done nothing but got better. He's striking that range really well. I don't think he's going to be, silly enough to engage in the clinch right, with Justin Gaethje, who has just mastered that position in particular. I do think Patty can find the back, right, of Gaethje, and then we'll see from there. Can he lock in a rear naked, right? What does that look like? And yeah, the wrestling, the grappling from Patty, that's all gotten really, really, really dominant as well. So look for this to be a fun fight, but I cannot pick against the boy, Patty Pimblett, in this one. I just think, he is improving so much every single time he steps in the octagon. And now he's going to show you guys why, he deserves this belt. And I do think it sets us up nicely for a Ilya Patty matchup, which I would be so stoked for.
Bro, I mean, the build up for that shit. Oh my God. Everybody's watching it because you don't got to pay $80 to see it. Oh, man. That would be, I mean, hand sanitizers flying everywhere. Everybody's ducking and diving.
Sierra would show up with a helmet on.
Sierra's going to tell me, don't touch that fucking hand sanitizer bottle. Okay? She knows I'm going to be drinking. She knows when I'm drinking, freaking out. Stuff's going flying. Okay? You never know. Might bounce off a noggin or two. Oh, man.
1,000%.
Crazy card, dude.
Crazy card. That does it for the card. It doesn't do it for the show. We got your free show parlays coming your way right now, starting with Lockdoor MMA's Lock of the Night. JP, we forgot to do something very important.
Oh, shit.
We did not collectively decide on a lock of the card, but JP, let's do it live, and I'll propose mine. I'll propose mine right now to you guys live. I think Umar is the lock. I don't care about the line. I don't care about anything. I think stylistically, he is the one that I trust enough to get the job done, even though he's a massive favorite. Sure, one could think Adaba, but there's just too many holes in his game that we have not seen yet, where I can put my full trust and belief in Umar Nurmagomedov to get the job done.
My heart did drop as you started saying that, because I was like, we didn't even talk about this. But I think we're both on the same track regardless. I agree. The line, don't give a shit. Do not give a shit.
Right.
We're telling you he's locked. He's locked to win. He's winning. It's Umar.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, we got a little bit too cute in 2025 with some of these lock picks. We were too worried about the line. We wanted to bring you good value so you can bet and yada, yada, yada. Gone are those days. I'm done doing that. I'm not being cute. I'm going to pick the guy that I firmly believe is going to get the job done, and I will not give a damn about the line. That is up for you guys to decide what you want to do with. If you want to bet it, if you want to bet something different, maybe a prop, or don't bet it at all. You don't have to. This is just our lock prediction of the card. All right, I'm talking too much. You guys know the gist, and we'll put out a best bets segment. We'll start working on doing some of that for you guys so that you have a little bit more insight as far as the betting line goes. But yeah, I feel very good about Umar as the lock. And so moving into Revan's basic parlay, let's start with Umar. Let's throw him in there, and for chits and giggles, because I didn't pick Adaba, let's put Adaba in the basic. And then to cap us off, I think I have to put some belief in my boy Suga. Give me Sugar Sean O'Malley as my third leg of that parlay. The line, guys, is probably terrible. Okay, it is what it is. We got two of the biggest favorites on the card. Maybe it's a trap, maybe it's not, but it's fun. Those are my three for Brev's basic.
That's a good one. That's a good one for Ritz and Shiggles, But yeah, I mean, I agree with Brev. Lock's a lock, man. We're not telling you have to bet the money line. We're not telling you anything. We're telling you this guy's gonna win. Parlay him to win by decision and Adaba to win by KO. There you go. All right, you guys are smart. All right, you guys are always, I told you so. Half the people on TikTok, I told you so. You stupid. Everybody's got their own spots of betting. But with that being said, we are hitting juicers this year. I swear to God. And we're going to start Saturday. Okay? Sit down, shut up. First juicer of the year, and it is smacking. All right? We didn't throw the main event in. Sorry, sue me. I just want to sit there and enjoy that one. Like we said, close fight. We're taking the baddie, but didn't throw it in there. Got an off feeling. Okay? Didn't like it. We are throwing Suga Sean O'Malley. We're starting with him. Throw him in there. We think Yadong is going down. Okay? We're not taking up dongs. Taking down dongs. All right, give us sugar. Next one, Natalia Silva. I understand. The women were always the ones to ruin it. Well, the juicer that is. Settle down. The juicer that is. This is.
You just got all of us in trouble, buddy. You really screwed us on that one.
This is my superpower. It's because I yap too much. Whatever. I'm not gonna. Is what it is. Throw Natalia Silva in there. Confident on her. Jean Silva. Can't make a juicer without the Lord. The Lord will be our savior on Saturday night. Throw Jean Silva in there. You might need it. I'm gonna need it. That's for damn sure. Ateba. Gautier. What'd you guys expect? You can even throw him in by KO. Who cares? That dude's winning. Charles Johnson. And I might say, you might be a little nervous. You might start sweating. Okay? Wait till the fight comes on, and I'll tell you. Me and Brevin will be the first to throw our hands up. Charles Johnson is a guy that you want fighting for your money, because he will not stop. Dude is a dog. Michael Johnson. Speaking of dogs, we need a dog in the juicer. Throw him in there. That is 6 legs. And I'm going to give you a 7th. Josh Hokit on the mic, knocking out Freeman, whatever it is. All right, throw him in there. 7 legs plus 1,200. It's juiced. It's hitting. And we're so back. We are so back.
We are so back. It feels good. I'm glad that you added a little extra juice to the juicer. I probably should have added something else that was basic to the basic, but that's okay. I'm sticking with my 3. I feel very good about my 3. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure to smack that like button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our predictions every single UFC card. And now that we're on Paramount Plus, tell your buddies, tell your friends, your family, hey, check out this really cool sport. It's called MMA. The UFC is the best place. These are top level guys. It's fun. It's exciting. It gets your juices flowing. And make sure you let them know Locked Door MMA is the best place to get their predictions every single week. But we do appreciate you guys. As always, with that, JP, I'll hand it over to you.
Hey, guys. We're back, man. We're back. We are excited. All right, like Brevin said, take a second. Like the video. All right, drop a comment. Who are you taking for the Super Bowl? You taking Jean Silva? Is Patty going to get knocked out? You guys are stupid. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. All right, help your boys out with that algorithm. The last time we asked you guys that, you blew it out of the water. Very appreciative. We're going up. Took a little break, but we're back. Brevin, you going to watch the Raiders' future QB tonight in the Natty?
Sure will. Yep, we got to get some scouting done on who Mahomes' arch nemesis in the division might be. Well, you guys got to figure out an offensive line for him, but I do think he's going to be a decent quarterback for you.
I mean, we're not going to talk about that. We'll see who we have at head coach. All the pieces are there. All the money's there.
Maybe McDermott. Maybe old Sean McDermott will come into Oakland.
I was surprised.
Me too.
I don't think he was the issue. I really don't.
No, I don't think so either. And that kind of makes you wonder, why didn't the Falcons wait a little longer, huh? You go out and get Stefanski. I don't know about that.
Hey. Yikes. Bijan. I mean, maybe you guys trade for Bijan. You know? You never know. Don't never say never.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
But yeah, watch the Raiders' future QB tonight in the Natty. Get ready for Saturday. We are so back, dude. We appreciate y'all. Another weekend, another set of fights, and another year of great UFC predictions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, it was a pleasure. Bingo, bango, baby. Hey.